Hi, welcome to the Learn to Stamp video on ink. So these are Stampin' Up's classic Stampin' pads. These are what the majority of our colors come in. I think that's in focus there for you. Try and get it to focus on this ink pad. Hang on, there we go, that's better. This is how they come. They'll obviously be wrapped in plastic. You'll notice on the bottom, if you flip it over, there are color labels, okay? So I've already peeled off the English one. So what you would do is just peel off your English one, okay, off of this sheet. It just pops out like that. So this is a different color, but you can peel it off. And then adhere it to the front of your ink pad, okay? Let's focus in on there a little bit better. All right. Okay, now to open these ink pads, they open just like makeup compacts. So all you're going to do is just pop it open. You're going to open it like that. You can slide it back to stamp. You don't have to slide it all the way though, okay? The other thing that you will notice, I'm just going to close this for a second, and then they just click close like that, is that there's also a blank sticker on here, okay, a blank label. And what that one is actually for, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now, I haven't done this with most of my pads yet, is so that when you have pads that are similar colors open, it makes it a little bit easier to tell what color's which. Is these, okay, go inside here. So you can actually, I'm going to try and do this now on camera. I haven't done it yet. It's kind of lined up, I think. Just adhere to the inside of your pad, so you can actually see what color you're working with when your pad is open as well. Okay, you can do that with the lingual labels as well, or you can just do with the blank color, just so you have a better idea of what color it is that you're stamping, because sometimes the ink pads are look a little bit off from that color. Okay, so that's when you get your pads, you can stick the inside label on and the front label on. And you'll probably get a little ink on your fingers doing that, but that's okay. It washes off with soap and water. And then again, you just click it shut, okay? The other cool thing about these ink pads, and I clearly have ink all over my fingers, I will wipe that off afterwards, okay, is that they are stackable. So let me just grab a few other ones. You'll notice they have these little dots and the little bumps on the bottom, so you can actually just stack them like this. So they don't actually need a its own storage, because they stack pretty compactly just as they are. And then you can also, once the labels are on, you can see all the colors, okay, very clearly if they're stacked on your shelf, which is one of the things that I love about these ink pads. Okay, so these are water soluble inks. They wash off with soap and water. The other types of ink that we offer, I'll show those to you. We have two different types of black ink. Okay, so Memento ink, okay, is a black ink. So this is a dye ink. Okay, this again is water soluble as well. This is a black ink that you are going to use with alcohol markers. So our Stampin' Blends, okay, you use the Memento ink because they are two different. So this is water soluble. The other markers are made of the Stampin' Blends are with alcohol. So this prevents bleeding. Okay. Then we also have our StazOn jet black ink. Okay, which is a solvent ink. This is more permanent. Okay, this is what you would use if you're watercoloring. Okay, so again, now it comes with a plastic cap to keep it moist. All right, so if you're using watercolor pencils or any of our inks, or water-based inks or markers to do any watercoloring with, and you want a black outline, you're going to use the StazOn ink because the Memento ink will run. Okay, so no watercoloring, watercoloring. Another ink that we offer is the Versamark. So this is a clear ink pad, okay, and it's sticky. So this ink you can use for watermarking, like it says on your on the ink pad itself, to get just kind of a tone-on-tone look on cardstock or other paper. But you also use it for heat embossing. Okay, so I'll do a separate video on that. But this is the ink pad that you're going to use for that, to put on your embossing powders. You can also use this for priming stamps. So the photopolymer stamp sets sometimes can use some priming before you go to use them. So if you coat them with the Versamark, they sometimes stamp actually better, which is a fun fact. Okay, and then the last type of ink that we offer is a craft ink in white. So mine is actually the old style stamp case that I have. When you order it, you will get a new style stamp case. We no longer offer, though, the ink pads are pre-inked. So if you're ordering the white ink, you need to order the pad and then the refill as well. So your pad will come dry, and then you would just ink it with the refill. And I'll show you the refills here. So these are some of the older style, but they look pretty much exactly the same. They'll just have newer labels on it. So you can get refills in any Stampin' Up color for your ink pads. Okay, so that when your ink pads dry up after years, months or years, depending on how long you use them, you can use these to re-ink them, so you don't have to buy new ink pads. So this, when you order the white, you order a refill and a blank pad. Okay. We also sell spectrum pads that you can ink up yourself, and little ink dots that you can ink up yourself as well. These are also great for watercoloring and lots of adding color to embossing paste and other kind of fun techniques, which we can learn about later. So that's the refills that you're going to use on the pads. Other inks that we offer are more Stampin' Up markers. So these are our markers. Okay, so these are actually dual tipped. They come with a brush tip and they come with a writing tip. Okay, I actually love using these for watercoloring. If you've seen some of my watercolor videos, you'll know why. And they are similar ink to what is in the ink pad, so they are water soluble. Okay, so they are great for doing multi colors of ink on different stamps. You use the brush tip and just brush over your stamp with that, and I can do a video on that to show you how to do that. There's a little trick to do at the end. And then the other ink that we offer is our alcohol Stampin' Blends. So this is our Stampin' Blend. So this is an alcohol ink. So they blend really nicely. Each set of colors comes with a dark shade and a light shade. So this is actually the dark pumpkin pie, and then we also have a light pumpkin pie. Let's see if I can pull that out here. Here's our light pumpkin pie. Okay, so you can get them separately or as a combo. There is a thicker tip, okay, and there's also a thinner tip. Okay, so these blend really, really well, and you can use shade on shade, tone on tone art with them. Then we also have in this set, you can also order separately, it's a color lifter. So again, this kind of takes some of the color up out, so you can actually get several different tones with the markers. This also you can use if you get color outside the lines and want to just do a bit of correction and lift the ink off your paper. You can use this as well. Let's see if I have a scrap piece of paper here just to show you. Let's just use some here. I'll use some very vanilla and we can just color. So I can use, there's some dark, so you can see kind of the difference. And there's the light. Okay, so you can blend that. When it dries, it blends like really nicely. I don't know how well you can see it on camera. And then there's also the color lifter. So you can use this to blend it. Here you don't really need it. Like you can see that they're just kind of bleeding together and blending really nicely. But like for shades and shadows and stuff, you can add that. And it just kind of lifts the ink off as well. So you can see kind of how, it's doing different tones. So you got an even lighter tone here and another kind of in-between tone there. Which is really nice. So those are the main ink options that we offer. Feel free to shoot me a message or email with any questions, and I will do my best to kind of get back to you if you're looking for a specific type of ink for a specific project. And yeah, I hope that was helpful. And see you on my next video. Thanks.